When you're an Afghan woman and a member of parliament, you tend to take your security seriously, especially when you have two young girls to look after.
Well, I'm proud that my mom is member of parliament, but sometimes I'm afraid that my mom's life's in the risk.
How do you feel about that when you hear your daughter say something like that?
They sometimes stop me from going to parliament because they feel it's too dangerous.
No, but when you hear your daughter say that?
I'm kind of disappointed to see that they are actually feeling the threat. They're feeling the risks.
But Fawzia Kofi, a leading women's rights activist, is no stranger to violence, even as a little girl.
My father was killed by Mujahideen. He was killed in front of... He came to talk with Mujahideen to ask them not to fight because he was a member of parliament. And then he was killed. My brothers were killed. It happened to... Our family doesn't have a good memory of politics.
She believes the latest threat came last week when she received a call from a colleague inviting her to a dinner party.
When Hashim Watanwal was one of the MPs who was assassinated, he called me that evening to invite me for this dinner in the President Advisor's house. Hashim Watanwal never ever called me in the 5 years that he was my colleague in the parliament. They also influenced our colleagues. There was somebody behind us that was motivating to invite more MPs and especially me.
She never attended the party, but the man who invited her was gunned down by militants alongside President Karzai's advisor. As authorities investigate, Fawzia believes she was a target and remains one.
This is not the only time. Even during my campaign, there was planned for me to assassinate me, but the two people were arrested by security. They spent 2 months in jail and then they were released.
So what do potential targets like Fawzia do to make themselves safer?
We don't do much. The only thing I did after Ahmad Wali Karzai assassination was I kind of rotated my bodyguards.
The president's half-brother was shot dead in his home by a longtime bodyguard, the most high profile in a series of recent assassinations of senior officials that the Taliban have taken credit for. So is this then part of a shift in Taliban tactics? The answer depends on who you ask.
What we believe is that the Taliban have actually taken a new strategy. The safest place in the world can be your home. This is where you feel safe. If the homes are not safe anymore, and if people you meet and people you trust, they could also be influenced, then where is safe?
These are obviously high-value targets. We are still assessing what the reason is behind these killings. They are not necessarily Taliban assassinations, in particular where it comes to the brother of Karzai. We have to see whether this was a murder case. We do not see a general shift in Taliban tactics.
I put the same question to a former Taliban representative.
I think this is the nature of any battlefield, any war situation, that each party of the battlefield, they are trying their best to show their capability and their strength.
In the meantime, people like Fawzia and her daughters must endure life as targets. David Ariosto, CNN, Kabul.